Hey viewers, you're watching The Savera and I'm Vidhi Joshi. Nepal's interim Prime Minister Sushila Karki, the first woman to assume the role in the nation's history, made her first public outreach today by visiting the civil hospital in Kathmandu to meet Gen Z protesters who were injured during the recent wave of anti-corruption demonstrations that swept the nation. Her arrival at the hospital just hours after taking the oath of office was met with large crowds of supporters and an intense media presence, as a convoy navigated through a city still reeling from unprecedented violence. The visit served as a powerful message of solidarity with the youth-led movement that played a decisive role in bringing down the previous government. The protest began earlier in the week following a government-imposed ban on 26 social media platforms, which rapidly ignited public outrage and spiraled into the most intense unrest Nepal has witnessed since the end of the civil war and the abolition of the monarchy in 2008. While the ban was rescinded shortly after the crackdown, the demonstrations had already evolved into a broader movement against corruption, authoritarianism and systematic government failures. Tens of thousands of young protesters took to the streets, many of them disillusionized with the state of governance. In the course of several days, demonstrators stormed key symbols of power, including the parliament building, the presidential residence, and multiple government offices, setting some on fire and clashing violently with security forces, according to the latest figures released by Nepal police. At least 51 people, including one Indian national, were killed in the violence. The bloodshed reached a peak on Monday when security forces opened fire on protesters, killing 19 in a single day. This incident directly triggered the resignation of Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli on Tuesday, hours after his office was attacked and overrun by demonstrators demanding accountability and reform. In response to the volatile situation, the Nepalese army was deployed across Kathmandu, Valley and other sensitive regions. A curfew and strict movement restrictions were imposed, allowing only limited activity during designated hours. However, following the swearing of the new interim government, the army lifted the curfew and prohibitory orders on Saturday morning at 5 a.m., signaling the beginning of a fragile return to normalcy. As Kathmandu emerged from days of lockdown, shops, vegetable markets and malls reopened. Public transportation, including long-distance buses, resumed services. Streets, once lined with soldiers and burnt debris, saw traffic flowing once again. While the army began scaling back its presence, Senior Superintendent of Police Bishwa Adhikari confirmed that certain high-risk zones in the capital would remain off-limits to prevent further unrest. Cleanup operations have commenced across several government buildings damaged or destroyed during the riots. Citizens, many of whom were confined indoors during the curfew, ventured out to witness the aftermath. Some were seen capturing images of vandalized public properties, charred government offices, and anti-government graffiti scrawled across the walls. Despite all these tensions, the mood in Kathmandu carried a sense of cautious optimism as the nation took its first steps towards healing and political transition. Soon after the swearing-in ceremony at Shita Niwas, the presidential palace, Indian ambassador to Nepal Naveen Srivastava became the first foreign envoy to meet interim Prime Minister Sushila Karki. During the meeting, Srivastava conveyed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's congratulations and assured Karki of India's continued support as Nepal enters a crucial transitional phase. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, speaking earlier in Imphal, described Nepal as a close friend of India and expressed confidence in Karki's leadership to bring about peace and democratic stability. He praised her appointment as a milestone for women's empowerment in South Asia, highlighting the significance of her becoming the first women Prime Minister of Nepal. In response, Prime Minister Karki expressed gratitude for India's consistent support and emphasized Nepal's desire for strong cooperation with its closest neighbor, stating that she trusted India would continue to act in the best interest of the Nepali people. As the nation begins to recover, the interim government has announced that general elections will be held before March 5, 2026. This decision comes as part of an effort to restore public trust and chart a new political path through consensus. The announcement is seen as a crucial step forward towards stabilizing Nepal's fragile democracy and addressing the grievances that fueled the recent unrest. With calm slowly returning to the streets and the political machinery beginning to function under new leadership, all the eyes are now on Prime Minister Sushila Karki as she prepares to steer Nepal through one of its most volatile and transformative periods since the end of its monarchy. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.